Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Drayton Park Golf Club. I'm in my swing studio, and what we're going to be discussing today is the role of the wrists at impact. So it's a question I've had quite a lot recently. So I've had a couple of people comment at the end of some of my videos or previous videos that I've done, and I've also had a couple of comments asking me about the wrists on Instagram. It's a great way to get in touch. All our social media info is coming along the bottom of the screen right now. So get in touch, let me know what videos you'd like to see me on, anything you're struggling with, and it really helps me with ideas of what you guys would like to see at home. So as I said, what we're going to be discussing today is the wrists and what we're looking for at impact. And I've got a really simple drill for you to make sure you're getting the right wrist position at impact. So what we're really looking for at impact is our handle. This is with a mid-iron that I've got here, a 7-iron. Our handle of the golf club leading the golf club. With the drive in our hands, we may be going for a little bit more level, unless you are a real hard hitter. So we do see some real elite golfers like a Dustin Johnson, who still actually gets some shaft lean with the drive of the handle leading more, de-lofting the golf club. He can get away with that at the speed that he's swinging at. Most of us are going for more of a neutral lead wrist position, but definitely with an iron in our hand, we want our handle leading the golf club with some kind of mid-iron. So we're getting that ball turf contact, we're maximizing our speed as well, and we're gaining a little bit of distance because we are de-lofting the golf club slightly. What we're looking for in terms of the wrist position is we want our lead wrist a little bit more angled down. So for me as a right-handed golfer, that's my left wrist. My left palm would be a bit more supinated, so pointing more up towards me. My right palm, so my trail hand, would be a bit more pronated, so pointing more downwards towards the ground. So we're trying to get a wrist position, something more like this, rather than what we see all far too often, more this way, okay, when our right palm is pointing up towards the sky. So that way we're definitely going to be adding loft, we're losing power. We're quite often mis-striking it heavy or thin from there. So that's what we're not looking for. We're definitely looking for this wrist position here where the lead wrist, back of the wrist is pointing a little bit more downwards. Now, I find a lot of golfers trying to improve their wrist position at impact when really it's the fault of what they're doing in the takeaway position and in the backswing. And I think if you get this part right, this part can start to take care of itself a lot more. John Jacobs, a great golf coach, always used to say, if you're searching for a fix in your downswing, you've missed something in your backswing, i.e. the fault was really coming about what happened in the backswing. And yeah, I'm not saying I don't work on someone's downswing position, but there's a lot of truths to that comment there. We can really improve our wrist angles in the backswing, and that can have a huge impact on where we're striking the golf ball, our wrist angles in this position. I've got a really simple exercise. Any of you guys who watch other YouTube channels, other coaches, you'll have seen this video before from other coaches, I'm sure. But it really is a fantastic one to start to get an idea on this lead wrist position at impact. So all I've done is simply just pushed a T-peg in my gloves, so I've just managed to hold it in place with the Velcro here. And I'm just going to go through first what I don't want to see and then what I do want to see in this wrist position. So what I see far too often, and this is the fault in the takeaway, at least I see this club face fanning very open. We tend to see a lot of forearm rotation, a lot of wrist hinge, the club face opening, and you can see the T-peg is pointing more upwards in this position. By the time we get to the top of the backswing, that sort of player will definitely have quite a lot of cupping in their lead wrist, and the T-peg will be pointing in front of them, or actually when they maintain posture, even slightly downwards. So that's what I don't want to see in the backswing position. When the club face gets open, you really won't get the handle lead in the golf club. You won't get the left wrist position, the lead wrist position where we want it, because otherwise the club face will be way open and we'll be hitting push slices. So what that golfer will be doing is really trying to get their trail hand to catch up or overtake. So they'll be having to use a lot of hand action, and they won't get this wrist position we're really looking for at impact. When this happens, you can start to see this trail elbow moves out and away from me as well. I've done some videos talking about the trail elbow. It's got some real relevance to what we're discussing today with the wrists. Now onto what we do want to see with this T-peg exercise is I want you to feel like the lead wrist is rolling more underneath. Okay, so the T-peg is pointing more downwards towards the ground. What that's going to do is make sure this club face is actually matching up with my spine angle in the takeaway position, not opening. So the feeling is that the T-peg is pointing more downwards in this first movement. At the top of the backswing, you're going to see a flatter left wrist, or if anything, the T-peg pointing a little bit more up towards the sky. So my lead wrist here is got a more flexion in there, okay, into this position. That will mean I really can maintain that angle all the way into impact, and I'm not having to rely on hands and arms so much. So the feeling again is this takeaway position, the wrist rolling a little bit underneath, the T-peg pointing more downwards towards the golf ball. If I get that right, the top of the backswing is going to look a lot better there with the lead wrist position. And you can see I don't need to do a whole lot, but just rotate my body to get this desired wrist angle we really want here, okay? Where the lead palm is supinated and the right palm is more pronated, pointing more downwards towards the ground. Let me go ahead and hit a couple. I'm just going to do a nice slow pace swing, just trying to go through those motions. That's what I really want to feel. And now go ahead and hit one, trying to get that feeling in the takeaway of my wrist rolling more underneath. Let's give it a whirl. Felt nice, felt pretty solid. Just a slight fade. Finishing on my green that I've set out there at sort of 165 yards, 166 yards. Nice ball flight. Let me see if I can hit more of a draw one now. But trying to get that same feeling with my wrist. So really working on this first position. Rolling more under, T-peg pointing more down. You can see that means the T's more up at the top of the backswing position. Did get that ball moving to the left, it just didn't start right enough. You're going to see it missing a little long left. So the club face was a fraction closed. If you're a player where you've been used to opening that club face, you'll be using a lot of hand action to try and close the face. So when you actually work on improving your wrist position, you may find you're missing the target left to start with. So my path was really good. It's just the club face was a little bit closed. So I needed that club face to be square or slightly open. How I would improve that is just better body rotation. So if the ball starts missing target left, I would just start rotating my body quicker. That's also going to increase our distance. If you're a player where you've been getting the club face more open, you really had to shut your body down to use more hands and arm manipulation. I know that exercise is very simple, but it's a fantastic one to really work on that lead wrist and that trail wrist going back, and that will fix what's happening at impact. Let me know if you enjoyed the content video by giving us a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel. There's all the other content every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30. And make sure you check us out on all our social media, as I said at the start. All the info's along the bottom of the screen right now. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon.